Hello and welcome to this series of videos. We will be introducing Maya version 2024. The goal is to create an orientation to the Maya software specifically for illustration students, and we'll be focusing on ways of modeling and texturing low polygon artwork. So this introductory series will give you a good preview, hopefully, some concepts and some awareness of what's in the software and what can be done with it. You'll also be building a vocabulary of different terms that we use to refer to different things in 3D modeling so that we can kind of be speaking the same language. And feel free to ask questions. So the goal of this is to help you get up to speed as quickly as possible in the basics of Maya. I plan on having another set of videos that will walk you through some tutorials about actually how to build some things. In this set, you won't be required to build anything, but feel free to pause the video and kind of open up Maya and play around, try out some of the things I'm showing you. Just experiment. You can't really hurt anything or hurt anyone, so don't be afraid. Just try stuff. I mentioned modeling and texturing. Modeling is building a 3D model, and texturing is putting some color or surfaces on that, right? I'm going to try to arrange these videos by topic. I'm starting with the assumption that you've probably never used 3D software before, or that you have limited experience with it, but that you're smart and you're a quick learner. So feel free to rewind parts of the video or watch the whole thing again if you feel like you just didn't get it. And so I want you to proceed at your optimal learning pace. All right, so that is a little introduction. I'd like to go forward now, introducing Maya and bringing you into some concepts and terminology. So what we're looking at here, if you can see this, this is the grid, and we'll talk more about that in a minute, but this is a new scene in Maya, and it gives me this grid to let me know where the ground plane is, where the zero coordinates of this world are. It's a 3D world. You can see me kind of rotating the grid around. You can zoom in and move around, and where those heavy lines cross, that's considered the center of the world. So it's kind of a home base where we can build out from. So that's called a scene in Maya. It's a 3D space where you can build and create and arrange objects. In Maya, everything in the scene is called a node. A node is a packet of information that exists in the scene. And so a 3D mesh, for example, let's make a sphere. This is called a mesh. This is a 3D object that exists in the scene. This is an example of a node, right? Other nodes might include cameras for rendering the scene or viewing the scene. They include lights for illuminating and casting shadows. You can have groups of objects or things, and those groups are considered nodes. There's also things like dummy objects, which don't really show up in the scene, but can be functional for helping you organize and animate things if you're going to animate. Anyway, so there's all kinds of different types of nodes that might be in the scene in Maya, some of which are visible pieces of geometry like this sphere. Okay. All of the nodes will appear in what's called the outliner. So this is a little icon over to the left that will show or hide the outliner. If you click that, it opens up this sort of list form. That's what the outliner is. It's all the things, all the nodes in your scene that are listed in a written form, right? So these first ones are the default cameras, these 4 default cameras in Maya. That's what allows us to see in perspective view or orthographic views, top, front, side. I have some hidden objects I'll show you in a minute, but this is a polygonal mesh, 3 tires, these bricks, the oil drum, robot arm. I'll show you those in a minute. This is the sphere I just made, so the highlighted object shows up with, is the one that's selected, so that shows up with this kind of blue bar. And there's also a default light set in Maya and a default object set. I have these lights that I brought in from another scene, so you can kind of see those listed there.